Hi, my name is Sasha. Welcome back to Sash Reads. This is going to be my May TBR. Now, for the month of May, I have a couple book club picks and I have a bunch of library books I want to get through. So, let's just get into it. Now, first of all, I'm going to be buddy reading with Abby, spoiler alert, by Ophelia Jade. I believe this book is about this girl. I think she's like a reviewer for this like Game of Thrones-esque TV show, plus she writes fan fiction, I think, for it. And then it's also the main character, like the male love interest, is an actor for that show, and he writes fan fiction for it as well. And they kind of have a romance, like the fan fiction writers have a romance, but then in real life they don't like each other, I think. That is a book I'm looking forward to reading with Abby. She's been on a big romance kick recently. I'm loving romance too, and she seems to be reading so much more than me, so I want to try and catch up with her. So that is definitely one of the books I'm going to get to this month. Let's just get into the library books now, shall we? First of all, I've got Ophelia After All by Raquel Marie. This is a debut from a booktuber here on YouTube. This is a coming of age queer YA. Ophelia Rojas knows what she likes: her best friends, Cuban food, rose gardening, and boys. Way too many boys. Her friends and parents make fun of her endless stream of crushes, but Ophelia is a romantic at heart. She couldn't change even if she wanted to. So when she finds herself thinking more about cute, quiet Talia Sanchez than the loss of a perfect prom with her ex-boyfriend, seeds of doubt take root in Ophelia's firm image of herself. Add to that the impending end of high school and the fracturing of a once solid friend group, and things are spiraling a little out of control. But the course of love and sexuality never did run smooth. As her secrets begin to unravel, Ophelia must make a choice between clinging to the fantasy version of herself she's always imagined, or upending everyone's expectations to rediscover who she really is after all. So that is one I'm really looking forward to. Lots of people have been raving about it. I was supposed to read it for the Brujas and Books book club back in February, but my library reserve never came in time, so I've got it now. Next, I have The Witch Who Called Her Death by Maria Lewis. This is the third book in her like Supernatural Sisters series. The first two were Who's Afraid and Who's Afraid 2. So those were focusing on the werewolf. Now this is focusing on the witch who we met in the second book. And with Caspar, and I actually believe Caspar is plus size, which is really exciting. Who's Afraid 2 left off in this like, not really a cliffhanger, but I wanted to find out more. So hopefully we find out more in this one. This next book I picked up because Jan was crying about it in her stories, and this is Normal People by Sally Rooney. I've also heard that it is a Netflix show, or it's been turned into a TV series. Don't really know much about it. I think it's literary fiction. The blurb doesn't really tell you much, so I'm not quite sure what it's about. But if it's gonna make me cry, I'm all for it. Next, I have The Mothers by Britt Bennett. This is a book that I picked up last year, but then the library wanted it back, so I never finished it. But I'm definitely going to finish it this time. Just you watch. So this is actually what I remember from it. It's about these twins, or is that her other book? No, so it's about Nadia Turner. Okay, so she's supposed to be the first in her family to go to college, but while she was mourning her mother's recent suicide, she's taken up with the local pastor's son, who is 21 and Nadia's 17. I believe she does end up getting pregnant from it. This is a book that lots of people rave about as well. Is another literary fiction. I don't know why I keep picking up literary fiction when I'm not really a fan. Like, maybe, okay, hopefully I am a fan. I think I'm just giving it another go because lots of people have been reading literary fiction and loves literary fiction. So hopefully, I'm trying. If I stop trying, like, am I not going to be good enough? That was a bit deep, my bad. I've also got All's Well by Mona Awad. Mona Awad wrote Bunny, which I read 2 years ago, I think now, and that was one wacko story. I absolutely loved it. So I'm hoping that this is going to be wacko as well. So it's about Miranda Finch. She is the college theatre director. She wants to put on Shakespeare's All's Well That Ends Well, the play that promised and cost her everything, but she's got a mutinous cast hellbent on staging Macbeth instead. Miranda then, I think, Jesus, I'm so sorry if you can hear my husband in the background. He's sick and he's coughing. And anyway, All's Well is the story of a woman at her breaking point and a formidable, piercing, funny indictment of our collective refusal to witness and believe female pain. Interesting. Another library book I have here is The School for Good Mothers by Jessamine Chan. Dre from A Dance with Words on Instagram kept raving about it, so I thought I better go pick it up. This, I believe, is actually a dystopian, I think, where if you are deemed an irresponsible mother, your kid gets taken away and you go to a reformatory school, I believe, to like become a better mother. And the last book I have borrowed out from the library is Friends and Strangers by J. Courtney Sullivan. This is a book about Elizabeth, who is an accomplished journalist and a new mother, struggling to adjust to life in a small town after 20 years in New York City. Her and her husband have moved to this small town closer to the in-laws, and now Elizabeth is at home all day with her infant son. First year with your newborn baby is really hard, and when you move away from all your friends and family, it gets really hard. So she's struggling, and then she ends up hiring this college senior to babysit, and I think it's their friendship blooms from there, and about their friendship and how it might not be all that it seems. So that seems really fun. Oh, one last library book, I forgot about that, is A Dark and Hollow Star by Ashley Shuttleworth. This is sapphic. I think this will really, like, it's queer, and it's fae. Do I really need to say more? So we've got the half-fae outcast desperate for acceptance, the tempestuous fury hellbent on revenge, the dutiful prince determined to earn his place, and the brooding guardian burdened by a terrible secret. That just sounds so good, and it's thick. I love thick queer fantasy, so I'm here for it. Alrighty, books that I own that I want to read this month. I've got The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni. I'm going to get to it this month. I love her Maduran Chronicles. My mum has read this book and she loves it. So I need to pick it up and I need to see what the fuss is about, because everyone is reading it. Everyone is loving it. And The Blood Trader, the third book, comes out this year. So I need to get to the other two before the third one comes out. We then have Rhapsodic by Laura Thasala. This is for the Fire Reading Witch Queens book club on Discord. I'm pretty sure this has won the vote, so I'm going to pick it up. It was either this or Zodiac Academy, which I also own, so it's either one or the other I will be reading this month. This is about Calypso, who is a siren with a very big problem. I believe she keeps making bargains, and the bargainer demon hasn't taken her up on those bargains yet, and then he comes in and like takes them all in one go, I believe, and it's their romance between those two. And we've got Bat Boys. I love my Bat Boys. I then also want to read Big Little Lies by Leanne Moriarty. This was one of Sean's favorite books last year, so I really wanted to pick it up just to see what the fuss is about, because it also says right here, HBO limited series. I believe it's Reese Witherspoon that did that. Pirawee Public's annual school trivia night has ended in a shocking riot. A parent is dead. Was it a tragic accident or something else entirely? I've never read any of Leanne Moriarty's work. She is a really big author here in Australia, and I just thought I wanted to pick it up as well for that reason too. So those are all the books I have on hand. I also want to read, oh, I got an arc of You Made a Fool of Death of Your Beauty, from Your Beauty, of Your Beauty. You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty by Quakey Amusi. It is their debut romance novel. I'm really excited to read it. When I got the arc, I squealed. My husband thought I'd hurt myself. It's a big old deal, but ready to read that this month. I also want to read Victories Greater Than Death by Charlie Jane Anders. This is a sci-fi novel about Tina who never worries about being ordinary. She doesn't have to, since she's known practically forever that she's not just Tina Mayne's average teenager and beloved daughter. She's also the keeper of an interplanetary rescue beacon, and one day soon it's going to activate, and then her dreams of saving all the worlds and adventuring on the stars will finally be possible. But when the beacon activates, it turns out that Tina's destiny isn't quite what she expected. Things are far more dangerous than she ever assumed. Luckily, Tina is surrounded by a crew she can trust and her best friend Rachel, and she's still determined to save all the worlds, but first she'll have to save herself. So I'm all for sci-fi. I don't think I've read any YA sci-fi in a while anyway. So I think the last was The Illuminae Files, I think it's what it's called. That is a book I'm really excited, plus the cover's gorgeous. I love that cover so much. I also want to reread Fable by Adrienne Young. This is a book I've been seeing all over Instagram lately. That and the sequel Namesake. Fable is about the 17-year-old girl called Fable, who's the daughter of the most powerful trader in the Narrows. The sea is the only home she has ever known. It's been 4 years since the night she watched her mother drown during an unforgiving storm. The next day, her father abandoned her on a legendary island filled with thieves and little food. To survive, she must keep to herself, learn to trust no one, and rely on the unique skills her mother taught her. The only thing that keeps her going is the goal of getting off the island, finding her father, and demanding her rightful place beside him and his crew. This seems kind of piratey too, which is really exciting. I really like my pirate fiction. And those last 3 books are all arcs that I want to get to. I've been trying to get my NetGalley score up higher, so definitely trying to read more arcs because of it. For another book club, the First Chapter Book Club on Facebook, run by the First Chapter Bookstore on Instagram, I believe Throttled is the book of the month, so I'll be reading that. I believe it's like an F1 formula car romance, I believe. I think it's by Lauren Asher, but I will post the picture here so you can see for yourself. Also for the Full Moon Book Club by Jan, I'll be reading Desperate Measures by Katie Robert. I'm on a Katie Robert binge lately and I just love, I've already read this book, but I'm more than happy to read it again because I love the Wicked Villain series. Desperate Measures is the first, and it's about Jasmine and Jafar. Where did Jennifer come from? And their romance. And it kind of like opens up the Wicked Villain world, basically. So good. And I will also be reading The Deal by Elle Kennedy, because this is the book for the Happy Ever After book club, which is hosted by Sydney, I believe. Bear with me. Okay, so it's a 24-hour readathon, and the first 24-hour readathon was back in April. So that was for The Deal. I'll still be reading it this month because I have it on my Kindle, so I'll just be reading it anyway. I also want to be reading Jade City by Fonda Lee because I believe that is for the Fanta series, which is hosted by The Roomies Digest and some others. And so yeah, Jade City I believe is next month's pick. That looks like all the books that I've written down here anyway. So yes, that is a lot of books on this TBR, and I'm hoping to get to all of them. Let me know what you are reading in May. I would love to know if there are any readathons that you're participating in. I know there is the Royal Readathon that's happening in May that I'll be using some of these books for those prompts. But yeah, let's see if I can pick this stack up, hey? Look at that. Look at all those books. Well, how many books is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think there's like 16 books. Lately, I've been reading 14 books a month. Well, in March I did, and I'm on to my 14th book already, I think. Oh God, can I do this? Anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget you can add me on Goodreads and Instagram. They are both at @sashreads. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I will see you next time.